political times, albeit with a slight side order of surrealism. Vote Conservative to undo 9 years of Conservative policies. That is, I'm sorry to go on about this, but sometimes I stumble across an insight or an observation, and I just can't quite believe my own eyes. Vote Conservative to undo 9 years of Conservative policies. Well, okay. Can I trust you? Of course you can trust me. I told you we'd be out of the European Union on October the 31st, or I would be dead in a ditch. Oh, yeah, no, fair enough, yeah. And of course you did that thing with the custody. Yeah, I absolutely did. Swore blind to the DUP, to the Conservatives, to Parliament. There would be absolutely no prospect whatsoever of me being responsible for a British customs border in the Irish Sea. But that is precisely what I tried to sell to Parliament last week. So, this is the Conservative offer. Trust Boris Johnson, a man who we spent 14 hours last week inviting callers to ring in and tell us something from his past that suggested he would be trustworthy in the future. And the only call we got was from a poor fella called Carl, who tried to claim that he was some sort of friend of the LGBT community and then had a bit of an accident live on air. Very unfortunate. But the more serious point, of course, is nobody could. A man whose first job he was sacked from for making up a quote from his own godfather. He wrote 2 columns in preparation, of course, for Brexit, and elected to publish the one that would most enhance his chances of becoming Prime Minister. He has, of course, cheated on both of his wives and serial mistresses. We know that there are still some very tricky questions to answer about the technology lessons that he received from a supremely underqualified young woman who went on to receive oodles of public money from funds that were in place when he was Mayor of London. But I don't know, does this stuff matter? Hundreds of millions of pounds on a bridge that never got built, although a lot of members of his top team ended up completely by coincidence and based entirely on merit with jobs with some of the firms that benefited from some of that public spending. The water cannon that he bought without being able to use them ended up, of course, being sold for scrap. The Dangleway or the cable cars that are almost part of London mythology now because they run every day with next to nobody on them. We look, of course, at the plight of Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe and the fact that when Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson somehow managed to make her already dire situation worse. Quite an astonishing intervention from Boris Johnson. And then during the leadership campaigns, not only did he promise that we'd be out of the European Union tomorrow, I mean literally tomorrow, it's October the 31st tomorrow, I'm not using it as a figure of speech, but he also attacked people like Jeremy Hunt and Rory Stewart for failing to make the same promise. Rory Stewart in particular, I think he's leaving Parliament now, isn't he? He'll be out on December, that's it. But he in particular found that an almost existential threat, because he couldn't quite believe that the party of which he was a part were not only encouraging and amplifying this man, but also giving a free pass to his nonsense. You're perfectly entitled to say, I'll do my very best to get out on October the 31st, which they all did. But he was the only one who said, I definitely will. And you could see on the stage, you could see Stewart and Hunt in particular just thinking, well, I mean, this is a moral moment. This is where you either get down and dirty with the dogs or you try to retain a little bit of integrity and credibility. Sajid Javid sort of went the other way, I think it's probably fair to say. Hunt and Stewart felt, you can't, it's not keep it. So anyway, he broke that promise. He as far as we're aware, broken any promise he's ever made. But the Conservative Party offering is trust Boris Johnson. Just have a think about how low a country has been brought when the party of government is campaigning on 2 platforms. The first is vote for us and we'll do 9 years of damage done to this country by our own party. And the second is trust a man who only became leader of our party by lying through his teeth. Oh, and misleading the Queen. We missed that out of our list. Just have a little think about that before the right-wing media starts in earnest going after Jeremy Corbyn and comparing him to, I don't know, Grandpa Smurf or whatever the latest attack will be. And I enjoy having a bit of a cut and thrust with some of these political characters as well, even if it upsets the faithful. But before they get their cudgels out on full, just have a little think about what you as a right-wing voter are now being offered by the party of government in the United Kingdom. You're being asked to trust a man who has never told the truth in his life, who achieved the leadership of the party via lying, and who has already misled the Queen and unlawfully suspended Parliament. Trust him. Whew. And you're being asked to back a policy platform that essentially consists of promises to undo 9 years' worth of policies inflicted upon the country by his own party. And they'll be queuing up to do it. Absolutely queuing up to do it. And on the other hand, you've got Jeremy Corbyn.